Hey, what's up? It's Wednesday on Golden State Boulevard, and guess who's back after like a couple of weeks of hiatus? Uh, I was staying at my boyfriend's house over Christmas break, and their internet was not agreeing with me whatsoever. And even though I did the videos, something happened. I don't have them. La di da. So, anyway, the topic of this week is HRT, which stands for hormone replacement therapy. I've mentioned several times, but I'll say it again, that I'm not currently doing anything to be on any kind of hormone replacement therapy. That is to say, not like no shots, not the pads or like anything like that. I'm not really interested in pursuing hormone replacement therapy. That wouldn't make sense for me. My dysphoria comes from my chest, doesn't come from my voice or my uh, facial features or anything like that. And moreover, I'm not even a person who would consider myself FTM. I'm bigendered, and therefore, for those two reasons, it wouldn't make sense to me, for me, to seek out any kind of hormone replacement therapy. That being said, I think it's a wonderful thing that is available because for a lot of people that is something that they find necessary. That is something that they find makes them feel more confident if they take hormones of some kind in some capacity to allow them to help them pass and to help alleviate their dysphoria. And the changes that, insofar as my research showed me, are the ones that are the most noticeable after these hormones have started to work into your system a little bit would be your voice getting deeper, possibly even developing a slight Adam's apple, um, developing body hair in more of a capacity than a cisgendered woman usually does. So we're talking like underarm, legs, you get the idea. As potentially, depending on how old you are when you start, a lengthening of your jaw and a sort of changing of the jaw shape and some other bone structures. Your hairline changes because, of course, a cis guy usually with his hairline would be further back than a cis woman's, so that would change. You also you have more, well, granted, from what I read, this is kind of a 50-50 thing whether this goes along with it, but there's an idea that you potentially have like increased aggression slash an increased sex drive. Although I did read that there's nothing really to support the idea of having an increased aggression, and in fact it might decrease any aggression that you had because that a lot of that has to do with your psychological state of mind versus what the hormones are actually going to do to you. Um, so that's something as well. And a lot of people report once they're taking hormones that they feel a lot better, they feel a lot more confident, they pass more, and they become more comfortable in their own bodies. And that's why I think that's great. And this sort of bleeds into my opinion about plastic surgery as well. Not to say that I think that they're particularly comparable, but they're comparable in the sense that I think that plastic surgery for somebody who suffers terribly from discomfort based on, I don't even care what it is, like a certain body feature, say, like let's say that somebody really, really hates their nose, and the root of their low self-esteem comes from their nose, and there's a possibility for them to get that changed to something that they would feel more comfortable with. I think that's great. I would never do that, just as I don't think I would ever take hormones. But I think that these are things that we who live in modern day times are lucky to have available to us. And even though it is still debatably more difficult than it ought to be pay for, not only to be allowed access to, but to pay for hormones replacement therapy, it's getting better, especially over here in Europe. In Europe, it's in Germany specifically. It's insofar as I've read about it, much easier to get things like that, and also a lot cheaper because going to the doctor and going to the psychology people and the psychiatry people and doing all of these different appointments that you need to get done is much cheaper here. So hopefully the US will catch up. We'll see. But yeah, and I'm really, really happy with the options that are available. I think that there have been developed, the formulae that have been developed for these sorts of things are really good. From a chemistry point of view, the side effects are not, you know, terrible the way they can be for some medications, and it just seems like a win-win situation if they get to the right people. I do think, however, that it is important to fully understand the ramifications of hormone replacement therapy before you start it, because there are a lot of changes that are irreversible, and you know, and a lot of them are pretty significant. And that means that if you don't know and you're not aware of certain things and you're not happy with how it turns out, it doesn't go back. So you do need to be fully aware of all of the things that you're getting yourself into when you do that. And if it is for you, then I hope that that's something that you're able to access. And yeah, and as I said, I always pay attention, keep, you know, look, my eyes and ears peeled for any news that I hear about it, but it's not something that's for me. With that being said, I will catch you guys next Wednesday. I'm trying to get back into the Wednesday sketch. And yeah, have a great day and take care of yourselves. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Alright, peace out.